Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Jack. Jack and his mother lived in a small farmhouse outside the village. Times had been hard for their little family, and they had barely enough food to eat. The one thing they had to sell was their cow's milk, but lately, she wasn't making any. Jack's mother told him that they were going to have to sell the cow. There was simply nothing else to be done. The cow didn't make milk anymore, and they needed the money. Jack was so sad. The cow was his only friend. But not wanting to disobey his mother, he tied the cow to some rope and set off to town with her. On his way, he met a strange man on the road. The man told him he was a wizard and offered to trade him some magical beans for the cow. Jack thought that this was a great deal, so he gave his cow to the wizard and happily returned home with the magic beans. When Jack's mother realized what he had done, she was furious. She took the beans from Jack and threw them outside. Now they had no cow, no money. What a waste. The next morning when Jack woke up, he looked outside and was shocked to see that from those magical beans, an enormous beanstalk had grown. He was so excited to explore that he ran to the beanstalk and started climbing. It was a long way to the top, and it took great skill to get there, but when he reached it, he was overwhelmed by the sight of a huge house. Jack gathered his courage and crept inside the large home. It looked like any other home, but everything was so much bigger. Jack stopped when he saw a person, but not any ordinary person. She was huge. Even though she gave him a fright, she was kind and offered him some food. She chatted with Jack and told him that soon her husband would be home, and then he might not like that he was there. Jack saw a mysterious-looking goose sitting on a throne, and the giant explained that the goose was magical and laid golden eggs. She offered one to Jack, and he gladly took it. She told him that if he came back and visited her again, she would gladly give him more golden eggs. Soon her husband came home, and he was mad. "Fee, fi, fo, fum, if you like your life, then you'd better run." So Jack ran from the house down the beanstalk until he was safely home. When Jack showed his mother the gold he had received from the giant, she was so happy. She knew they would be able to take care of themselves for a little while. But Jack wanted more. He couldn't help but think about a magical box he had heard playing music. He thought if he could just have that, then he would be happy. So that night, Jack traveled back up the beanstalk to the house. Making sure that the giants were asleep, he crept across the room and traveled up onto the table where the box was. He took the box and disc, but as soon as the music stopped, the giant woke up angry. "Fee, fi, fo, fum, if you like your life, then you'd better run." Jack ran as fast as he could down the beanstalk, but this time the giant came climbing after him. Jack started breaking the bottom of the beanstalk, and soon the giant fell to his death. Jack could have been happy with what he had been given. He could have had a life of comfort for him and his mother. But he was greedy and wanted more for himself, and because of that, he ended up with treasures that wouldn't last and hurt the wife giant who had been kind to him. Jack and his mother lived the rest of their days working hard for whatever they could get. The end.